Coach, what are your general thoughts on the game and how it went?
Tough game. I think we started off really bad. When you dig yourself a hole early, it's hard to recover. I think they were really aggressive, which should be our advantage in a lot of ways, but we weren't able to execute some of the game plan. I think it was a phenomenal night, but we're just not as good when Melina doesn't get going, and I think Lucia needed to be more aggressive. So, but I think it does start with the defensive end. We weren't aggressive early. We weren't dominating the ball early and doing the little things early that we can control. And then, that's what happens. You dig yourself a hole. They got confidence, and then they won the game.
What types of things do you think they can learn from this for when the Pac-12 season starts?
The first thing, learn you can't start off 7-0 run. Okay, I think it was 7-0. It could have been more. I felt like it was more. You have to be aggressive from the get-go. You have to assert yourself defensively. When you let teams get confident and feel good, then they were confident the whole game. And I think that we can't allow that. We got to be more disciplined in our game plan. We have to be more disciplined when they're great penetrators. They had a couple good shooters, so we know we don't help off the strong side. Just little things like that we know better and that we didn't execute tonight. And every time someone gets by us, we're going for a block shot. We're not a team with a whole bunch, and we're athletic, but you have to be disciplined. You can't go for a block shot every time. And the guards are going for block shots, trying to swat it. You can't do that. You got to be disciplined, or else you're going to foul. An example is Jalea's really aggressive, but ended up fouling out in 20 minutes. So I think being disciplined and they beat you, have trust in our rotation, have trust in those little things, and finish the play, end with like a hit and get. So those are things that we can control and do better. But this is a great game to learn from. We had a great road win. We started off a little slow in that game. Then we waited till the third quarter. You can't wait every game. And so how do you respond? I told them, early, how do you respond after a big win? And how do you take care of business at home? We didn't do that tonight, so we have to learn from that.
Do you think the unusual atmosphere kind of contributed to the slow start?
No, I don't use those as an excuse. I think that, I was a player, and they're players. You're ready to play anytime, any place, against anybody. And that's the confidence and swag that I want, and we're going to get that, and we're starting to get it. But anytime, any place, and you always take pride and take care of home. And I thought at times they out-hustled us, and that's not something I accept. I accept mistakes or stuff like that. I don't accept someone out-hustling you for a ball on your home court. That's not what I want. But I thought that for the most part, we didn't give up. We played to the end, but we just got to do a little bit better from the beginning.
Coach, with 5.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, you were down by 11, and you brought it back to a bucket. What would you tell them in that timeout?
Well, I was saying one basket at a time because when there's 5 minutes left, that's a lot of time in a basketball game. So one basket at a time, chip away. We're not looking for an 11-point basket. I think at one time I said a 10-point basket. We were looking for one thing at a time, and I talked about our defense because it started with our defense. We were switching aggressively and doing that, so then we had to do a better job of helping, but not helping off the shooter on the strong side. So it was just chip away, do what we do. But it can't only be LB. If you look at the balance of our scoring, LB's the only one in double digits. You're not going to win a game like that. So I think that we needed more productivity tonight from Lucia and Melina, and it's not always going to be their nights, but then we need other people to step up. So I think that, there was a lot of time until the very end. We could have taken the game back. That three could have gone in. But you can't wait until the end to do it. You have to do it from the beginning. And it's one possession. It's one play at a time. And you have to know that every possession counts in the game.
Coach, to start off the game, you guys had 7 turnovers in the first 11 minutes. And then to end the game, you guys had a series where you guys were down by 2, and then about 4 or 5 possessions there, you turned the ball over. How frustrating is that, and what did you tell the team in regards to that, if at all?
Well, we can't turn the ball over. I think that taking care of the ball is one of the things that I'm addressing on practice, but we're averaging 20 turnovers right now. It's a lot. And we don't have to go for the dime. We don't have to go for the 10-point basket. You have to, one at a time. If you're not sure, don't pass it. And I think that's something we're getting better at, but we have to continue to get better at that. And when you're playing a team that pressures a lot or shoots the gap, they're wanting to go for steals, so you don't let them rush you. And our offense works. We get good shots in our offense when we run it. So it's sticking to it and running it and just taking care of the basketball.
What was your advice out of halftime when it was a tie game?
Well, at a halftime, I was proud of the way we fought back second quarter. We fought back to tie it up, and we did a great job. So my thing was, let's start the third quarter with that same energy. But we didn't. And I think that a couple people, it wasn't their night, that's fine, but when it's not your night offensively, let's do something else defensively. Like let's say it wasn't Melina's night, it wasn't who else? Lucia's night. Then be a great communicator, do other things, and that's a part of the learning process. But it creates value when you're not scoring, and I think that we got to learn that and do a better job of that. But it's one game at a time. It's a process.
Brittany was averaging a double-double coming into this game. She had another big game. What's just been the overall key to her success?
Well, we've been going to her. I always say feed the beast. She was playing well. I think when she slowed down a little bit, because earlier they were giving double teams, and she would turn, make a move and turn, and there was 3 people on her. I think that when she had one-on-one, I think she was great. She was strong. She was asserting herself, and I want that from her every night. But I think offensively on the perimeter, we had to be a little bit better. If you look at our guards, Lucia, Melina, 6 points, and then Taryn. Taryn was still okay, but Melina and Lucia, we need them to be threats, and they didn't tonight.
Has Brittany been maybe better than you thought she'd be this season?
No, I thought she'd be like this. I thought she'd be a double-double. I knew I was gonna. I'm the type, if it's working, they're not stopping it. We continue to go to her. She's what I expected. She's such a great player, and so is Melina and Lucia. It just wasn't their night tonight. I wish they both wouldn't have been called the same night. But, in Bree, I think we're going to see Bree play a lot better. Bree played pretty good, but I think this isn't the best basketball for Bree. I think Bree and Destiny will play better on other nights, but tonight it was just tough.
Playing Taryn at the point, was that situational or was that planned in all this week?
Well, we do both. So we play Taryn at the 1 and the 2. I think her and Lucia and Melina, they're small, but it gives us 3 shooters on the floor. So I like her at the 1, but I like her at the 2 a lot so we can get her shots. And I think Lucia is really good at finding people and getting people involved. And then it allows Melina to then be more aggressive offensively. It's hard when you're a point guard to be super aggressive offensively. So I tell them in transition, it's fine. I don't care if either one of the 3 bring it up. But I think when it's running a set, sometimes Lucia's been really good for us. But Taryn, I think, did a fine job. She's been great off the bench. To come off the bench and play. She once again got 6 rebounds like she did last game, 4 offensive. That's huge. And then 8 points. I think Taryn played a really good game. So.
Does Melina's offense dictate her defense in your estimation?
I think sometimes. Probably, but for a lot of players, I think that it not necessarily dictates, but you're just a little bit more confident. And it's easier. You think of a player, it's easier to score a lot. It's easier to stop people when you're feeling good about your offense. When you're not, sometimes you kind of press and you're frustrated. And I think that, Melina plays good. This just wasn't her night. But I don't think she was awful defensively. I think turning the ball over a little bit, making those tough passes. And sometimes as a player, that's when you're trying to make yourself get back into the game. You're trying to throw the dime to feel good when you don't need to. And I think that's fine. She'll bounce back next game. But she's a key. We don't play as well when she doesn't play well.
Taryn, is she, because she's had knee problems, is she physically capable of maybe playing more minutes than she has been?
I think that 24, it's curious to see how she'll feel, but it's a lot of minutes. It's a lot of minutes because she's just getting back into it. But I think those are around the minutes she can play. But right now we're a little banged up. Farron's a little banged up, but it's not an excuse. I think that she's playing well and she's feeling good, and I think that it's you feel a little better when you're playing good, which is good. But I don't think she could play like 35 minutes a game. I think that would be tough just physically, but I think she can give us 20, 25 minutes. And then, maybe some days her load is a little lower in practice. And I'm the type of coach, I'm fine managing that because it's something she can't control. And, so in Bree and Taryn, that's been it. And so it's a challenge as a player because when you're not able to practice and get the reps, it's hard to be sharp. So Taryn's she's been doing good with that. And Bree, she's been a little bit rusty because of that. So it's harder. And that's normal. So I'm okay with that. But I don't mind managing their minutes because of their knees.
Time for one more.
All right.
Okay, thank you guys.